Well, here to break down the latest White House flip-flop is tonight's company, Newsmax political analyst Mark Halperin, along with host of the Trish Regan Show, Trish Regan. Mark, Trish, welcome back to the show. Glad to see you tonight. Mark, I'm going to start with you. I mean, this is why I always feel bad for the American people. You're getting the same message two different ways on the same day from this guy who's saying we should be concerned about COVID, people are dying, and then we don't need to worry about it so we can open up our borders.
Look, I predicted a few days ago that they would have to cave on this policy and put not get rid of the Title 42 because there is a contradiction here. And I think most Americans feel like if a single American is being asked to wear a mask, someone coming into this country illegally shouldn't be allowed to come in if they're infected.
Yeah, Trish, this is so interesting to know, too, with the sound bites we played. When he was speaking to ABC viewers, Dr. Jha reinforced what they would want to hear. COVID's here, it's serious, it's scary. Then over to Fox viewers, he's trying to convince them that there's no public health crisis at our southern border. So do you think the White House has had any strategy, not just with messaging, of course, but with policy at all on this issue?
Hogan, it's really good to see you. No, I don't think anybody's talking to anyone in the White House, frankly. And I think that this is not the only issue we see as an example of the lack of communication. I mean, you cannot have your cake and eat it too. And yet this administration thinks that's perfectly, absolutely fine. It's one or the other, guys. I'm sorry, this is not, apples and oranges. This is oranges and oranges. You're talking about the same exact thing here. So if Americans are not in jeopardy, or they are in jeopardy, you need to let us know one way or the other. And you actually have to have policy that's consistent. Consistency matters right now.
Right. Yeah, it does. Mark, I want to get your take on this, actually, because now we have 5 at least Democratic senators who have said to the White House, hey, you should not be lifting Title 42. But the White House, we have seen, they just keep drilling down on anything that was Trump. It's bad. So is there any world where you think that they will say, all right, we shouldn't lift it? Will they change course?
They will change course. You had a number of progressive Senate candidates today join those Democratic incumbent senators. I should also say it's nice to see you, Hogan, because that's apparently what we're supposed to say. Trish said it, so I'll say it too.
Thanks, Mark.
Look,
what about me?
This is like it's always nice to see you. It's just kind of special.
Yeah, right.
Thank you, Mark.
There you go.
I'm just kidding.
Nice
save.
Nice save.
And we all miss Sean. So look,
yeah,
this is one of these slow motion. This is one of these slow motion things where we know how this movie ends. They cannot sustain the policy. These Democratic senators and these Democratic Senate candidates who are turning against the White House, they're not doing it for at a peak. They're not doing it because they don't like the White House. They're not doing it because they're not normally in lockstep. They're doing it because they're facing the voters in a few weeks or months, and they know which way the wind is blowing.
Yeah, that's such a great point that you make. Trish, I'm going to let you weigh in. Do you think that the White House will change course on Title 42?
Oh, I'd love to think that they would do that, only because I think you got to do what's right for the country at this point in time. And I don't think our border's going to be able to handle this mass influx. And Mark's right. I mean, the Senator Jeanne Shaheen, right, from New Hampshire, coming out and saying, look, it's not appropriate. You've got, of course, West Virginia. I mean, plenty of Democrats have joined this cause, so to speak, because they see that there would be a massive problem that, look, states can't handle. I mean, you think about those poor border states. You've got Democrats in Texas saying, wait a second, because it's no longer about politics, right? This is about economic security. It's about actual security, and it's about common sense. And if you're talking about an influx of hundreds of thousands of people every month now coming here because of the end of Title 42, it's just not going to work.
May I make a nomination?
Yeah,
go ahead. Please.
I nominate this, with the exception of the withdrawal from Afghanistan. I nominate the Biden administration's policy on immigration and the southern border to be their most incompetent.
Well, see, I would disagree in this way, Mark, though. It's on purpose.
I don't know. This is a tough one.
It's not feckless. They're doing this on purpose. And what's interesting is, until just recently, when they were confronted with the fact that the policy was a failure, you remember Nancy Pelosi didn't say change the policy. She said change the messaging. Only now do we have a handful of Democrats who are about to face the wrath of their constituents decide, hey, maybe we shouldn't have open borders. Maybe we shouldn't send people in the middle of the night to red states to try and change the demographics for a political power grab. So I think the American people are waking up to this. Do you think other Democrats, other than the ones we've just discussed, have any idea how angry the American people actually are on this, which is a top 3 issue?
Here's why I think it's their biggest failure. On economic policy, it took a while for us to be certain that what they were doing wasn't working. We knew from before he took office that his immigration policy wasn't going to work. It's not pleased anybody. The left doesn't like it any more than the right likes it. And so, to me, this has been a failure from day one, and they've done nothing to change it. They only make it worse. Again, on economic policy, they've tried different things. They've at least tried to change course mildly in some directions. On immigration, they just double, triple, quadruple, quintuple down on the same policy that, again, doesn't please anybody and doesn't work.
So I would just add to that, you've got to ask the question, why? Why is it that they are so keen to open up the borders if it doesn't make any economic sense? It doesn't make any sense in terms of our security. Why are they doing it?
It's political.
Well, that's a great point. And I think that's something that they are going to have to answer for in the midterms and in 2024 that they don't seem to have a good answer for, because as Sean, who's not here, I'll speak for him, he would say because they want those voters. Yeah. But my concern is that is such a long game to say, oh, you just want these voters, because when you talk to Hispanics who are here, they are very, very angry. The fact that people who have done it correctly, who have gone through the immigration process correctly, and now there's so many people that aren't, that's like a slap in the face to them. And so I think, I don't know, real quick, Mark, do you think that they will lose a greater percentage of Hispanic voters in 2024, 2022 as well? Real quick, Mark, and then Trish, because I only have seconds left.
By ratio 5 to 1, at least.
Wow. Trish?
Yeah. Now, Hispanics, they're leaving the party in droves. Democrats will not be able to count on Hispanics.
Yeah, so if that is a reason, I don't really see how it helps in the long run. But time will tell. Mark, Trish, always appreciate your expertise. Thanks for being here tonight.
Thanks, y'all.
Have a great night. Bye, Hogan.
Yes, bye to both of you.